Hello everyone. In this tutorial, I'll be telling you how to animate your image using HTML and CSS, right? Sometimes what happen, we want to add animation in our website and suppose we are creating a game. So it is very much important to add animation to it so that it will look interesting, right? So in this tutorial, we'll be creating a very basic project in this which you can see that there is a car traveling in the road, and beside that there is a tree, there is also a road, and we'll see how to make this car move, right? So let's get started. So as you can see, I have opened my Visual Studio Code, and inside this I have created a project, right? And that is folder name is demo, and I have also created another folder inside this demo. If you want to create a new folder inside another folder in the Visual Studio Code, what you have to do, you have to just click on this icon, and this will open a new folder for it. You have to just give it a name, right? And if you want to open a file inside this folder, then this icon will be for creating a new file, right? So if you click this icon, now it will open for you and you have to give it a name, right? So inside this I have created a folder that is image, and inside that I have created another file that is index.html, and that is styles.css. So in index.html we'll be writing our whole HTML code, right? And inside styles.css will be designing our website. We'll be writing a code which is used to design our website, right? So interesting, right? So let's get started. So in the Visual Studio Code, if you want to open a boilerplate for you, then what you have to do, you have to just press the exclamatory mark like this. So you have to press an exclamatory mark and then hit enter, right? So this will open a new boilerplate for you, right? Now I have to give it a title that is my animation site, right? And inside this body you will be writing your whole content, right? So let's for testing, let's say hello world, right? And let's save it. And now here you can use open with live servers. So if you open it with a live server, right? If you open it with a live server, what you will see, just look at it. So now you can see that there is a hello world, right? And now what I have to do, okay, now you can see there is a hello world printed on my screen. Now if I want to add any styles to it, so what I'll do, I'll just open my styles.css, and here I'll be writing body for checking. In CSS, what you have to do, you have to just press a selector, right? You have to just specify your selector, what you want to target. Now here just for the testing, I want to target my body and change its color, not color, change its background color to red, and just save it. And inside index.html you have to link your external style sheet. In order to link it, you have to just specify it style sheet and href your link, and my link here is styles.css, and just close it, hit save, and go to your live server, right? If I go to my website, you can see there is all red because I have targeted my body and changed its background color to red, right? That's why it is like this. Now I also want to add some bootstrap to it. So if you want to add bootstrap to it, what you can do, you can just go to the new page and hit bootstrap css link, right? Now there is a site called getbootstrap.com, and inside, if you open this website, there is a link. Just copy it and go to your index.html and just, you know, just copy paste it once again. I think something happened, so just quickly copy it, right, and go to your index.html and save it. So now I'm done, right? Okay, so I have added my all styles. So now if you want, just remove this styling, right? And if I now see my site, then it will look something like this. Nothing is there, right? So now just go into your style, index.html, and just start with your project. So in order to start with your project, we'll be using the div container, right? Div class container, and inside this we'll be creating a div class row, because we'll be, writing our project in a table. We'll be putting our images in a table, right? Because if I for example, if I write my image like this, image source, first folder name, and then your website landscape.png, and just save it. And if you open your website, you can see that my image is, taking up this whole space, because it is of this size only. Now if I want to add more images to it, what I can do, I can just press shift alt and key down, something like this. And if I now open my website, you can see something like this. So in order to manage this into one row, I need one row and three columns, right? One, two, three. So in order to do this, we'll be using the CSS grid system, Bootstrap grid system. And in order to do this, what you have to do, you have to just use div class container, and div class, you have to make one row, right? As we discussed earlier, one row and three column. Div class call, and it should be medium size of 2, because my whole screen is divided into 12 pixels, so I have to make my three images into one row. So in order to do this, what you have to do, you have to just use 4 here, and put your image inside this, and my image is image in images folder, and inside this landscape.png, right? Now similar to this, I have to create 3 more class. Okay, now I'm good to go. Now let's see what happened to my website now. So it is looking something like this, right? There is a space, there is, there is some space. Now, can you understand? Can you, have you come up with a question that why there is a space in the front of this image and there is no space, right? So let's inspect this website. Let's inspect the space, what is happening there. Okay, so if we clearly see, uh, okay, if we clearly see what is happening here. Now you can see that this is taking up of 4, right? So what is this? Now let's see. See, there is a padding there also, and also in body tag you can see that there is a margin of 8 in it, right? Okay, now we have to remove our margin here. So in order to do this, what will be just taking it to 2, right, and adding some more columns to it. 1 2 3 more, that is 6 row. And now let's see how my website looks. So my website is looking something like this, because if I open inspect and inspect my container, if I inspect my container here, then you can see that there is an extra of this margin, right? In container, there is a extra of 3 margin that is highlighting with a red part. See this, right? So I have to remove this margin, and I have to make it to 0. So in order to do this, just go to your styles.css and here target your body element, because it is also providing you an extra margin of 8 pixel, right? So just do it, margin, and make it to 0%. Now next, target your container element with dot, because container is a class, and in order to target any class inside your CSS, we have to use dot. And then margin, what is the margin left, make it to 0%, and also margin right, and make it to 0%, right? And now let's see how my website looks after this styling. Okay, so my website is looking something like this. Now I need to add a road here. So in order to add road, just go inside index.html, and after this create another div, right, uh, with class container, something like this. One row, there will be one row, right? And div class column, and inside here put your image, and that will be the source of images, and pro.png, and just save it and go to your website how it looks. Okay, so it is looking like this. Why there is a space? So let's inspect that why there is a space. So if we see that this picture is taking up of padding, that is 5, this picture is of 5 12 12. Okay, now add some more rows to it. Okay, now let's add it. Okay, now save it and go to your road. Okay, so it is something like this, because I haven't specified the column. So in order to specify your column, what you have to do, you have to specify it to medium 2, because I'll be adding 6 more columns to it. So 12 divided by 2 will be 6. Now 3 more to it, 1 2 3. Okay, now let's go to our website and see this is completely okay. Now okay, now there is a space, as we can see here, right? So now I want to give it another name, that is road, right? And I want to give it a positioning with target element road, and positioning will be absolute, position will be absolute, and it is from bottom, not bottom top, it is from bottom, right? And that will be minus 30%. Now let's see. Okay, now we can see that this is looking pretty much okay. Now I have to add a car to it. So in order to add a car, what we'll do, I'll do inside inside my first landscape, right, before road container, and after the landscape wala part will be, you know adding our image, and with the class of car, and source will be images.car.png. Okay, now let's go to our website and see how it looks. Okay, we cannot see any car here because it is behind the road. Images, it will be images or only. Okay, now let's, okay, we cannot see because it is behind the car. And if I write z index of this road, z index of this road to be -1, then it will go behind the car and we can see our car. So okay, my car is here only, so we have to add a positioning to it. Now before this dot car, positioning will be absolute. Okay, there is a spelling mistake. Absolute, it will be absolute, and it will be from the bottom -30%. Now let's see. Okay, it is not pretty much okay. I have to, add something to it. That is maybe bottom 20% or bottom 10%. Now let's see. Okay, my car is pretty much okay. Now this is all good. Now I have to add animation to it. This is the most important part of this project. So in order to add animation to it, I'll be adding animation to this car object. So in order to add animation, just use animation, right? And here you can see name, duration, timing function, right? So just remove it. So name will be car because I'm targeting my car, and it will be of 5 seconds, and my timing will be infinite, sorry, infinite linear reverse, right? And in order to create any animation in CSS, you will target your element by using keyframe and your identifier, and my identifier here is car. Now I have to, add animation. So I want my car, as you can see, I want my this car to go from here to here. So in order to do this, what I'll be doing, I'll be just, using left here, and which will go something like 0 pixel. So here I will go from left because I have to start from the left, and that is 100, means go up to the 100% of the screen, right? To go up to 0 px, right? Now let's see if my car is moving or not. Okay, so this, you can see that my car is moving now, right? So yeah, uh, congratulations, you have done your second project, that is creating animation to your website, right? So make a new animation, make new experiments to your website using keyframe, right? I'll be see you in the next lecture. Thank you.